Let me ask you a question. Why are you in a hurry to make some money?
Fuck if I know.
Well, let's see if we can explore that a little bit. Because this is a run-on from a question that I had over the weekend about emotions in business versus emotions in trading. Now, to me, they're completely separate. You see, traders, certainly when they're new, have a very high emotional way of trading. They're greedy, they're fearful, they are over-trading definitely, so there's a form of addiction and one thing and another. But if you're in business, you couldn't give a shit.
You serious?
It's just work. Today's the day, we do a job, and away we go. So if I was to say, why are you in a hurry? Could you put your hand on your heart and answer it?
Let me think.
You might be time pressured because of retirement. You could be losing your job, or you're just not making meets end. So that says, oh my God, I've got to make it. I've got to make it now. Well, what you're doing is you're putting untold pressure on top of yourself. And what'll happen is you'll go into what's called the treadmill of terror. Now, the treadmill of terror is where you're just going around in circles. So you're looking for holy grail strategies all the time. Or if you see a strategy, you try to break it down to the smallest denominator to try and reverse engineer it to be 100%. Wasting your time. And I get kicked all the time. Not because I'm a shit trader, but because I'm a pretty good one.
Oh, cry me a river, blubber-toothed tiger. Have some fun.
But the reason I'm good is because I'm patient. And I'm not in a hurry to make money. That's my sort of difference to somebody else. Now, if you can imagine that you've got a volume dial on a stereo, your volume for emotions is up to 9 and 10. You're belting it out like there's no tomorrow. Mine's down to 2. I'm very calm. I never go into a trade I'm not prepared to lose on. So I do a lot of homework before I go into trade. I've done a video this morning for the guys in the squad, showing them exactly the sort of homework that I'm looking at, because I work out a trade from its worst case scenario and its best case scenario. And the stop should roughly be in roughly the same place. But then I'm also working out what the return is on that, ROI. So how much will I get from each trade? And then I ask myself a simple question. Is it worth it? It's that simple. So, no, I'm not in a hurry. If I've got to wait for a trade, I'll wait for a trade. Now, there's also trades and trades because everybody wants the perfect strategy. Personally, I don't think strategy exists. I think it's a fable.
What?
Why? Been around the industry long enough to know that X does not mark the spot. So what I do is I read a chart, I read its conditions, and I look to see what it's trying to achieve. And then I'll lean into that based on account size, what I see at the time, etc., etc. But I'm never in a rush. I take hourly signals with 15-minute or 5-minute entries. That's it. And then when I enter, I go back to the hour to get out. So I've always calm, I've got plenty of time, no rush. Now, I did a video a while ago where I basically said, if you're analysing a minute chart and you're trying to trade that, you're wasting your time. And I stand by it.
But who might argue with a man from the sky?
Because I've yet to see somebody who does it make money long term. And all the comments lit up and they're like, oh, such and such does it, and it's that and the other. I went, make a living from it. Silence. No, you don't know what you're talking about. Did they show you a bank account? So I'll show you mine. Silence. In fact, I'll show you one right now. Put a bit of meat on the bones. There's my portfolio. That took me a long time to build up. I weren't in a hurry to do it. Now, over the last 2 years, it's done quite well. You know, I've personally put into it 78,000 quid, right, in 2 years. So you got to remember, I've got to live and one thing or another. That money had to come from somewhere. And you see every single day what I do for a living. Every day. Okay? So there you go. And the investments have turned 45,000, putting my fund that I can put my hands on at over 200,000 quid. Now that's real. How do you know it's real? Because there it is there. It's a real account. Put the transactions in, you can see exactly what I'm putting in. So when you see me do small trades, or what are deemed small trades, and people take the piss out of me, there they are there. It's like 39 quid, 162, 187. Very, very small increments going in all the time. Why? Because I recycle my profits. I get paid, I put it in there. You know, so it's dead simple. You know, I only take what I need. So I am not in a hurry. But let me take this a bit further. If I just come back to this and I pull up a spreadsheet here. So this is an account. As you can see, the day I started it on the 14th of the 4th, you know. So it's halfway through April and we're nearly at the end of May. So it's 42 days old, this sort of prop fund. This is something that I'm doing for myself. And out of those 42 days, I have traded 26 days. 26. Okay. I've set it up for tomorrow, which is Wednesday, starting here. That's why it hasn't got anything here. So it's ready for tomorrow. Because I finished for the day on this. And I was finished at 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Did the prep work on it. Did what I needed to do, which was the target. I'm going to put the targets in now. So we'll do that in front of you so you can see it. And I've had a winning streak of 26 days in a row. So the 26 trading days that I've had, bearing in mind, you've got to remember that I've been on holiday and there's also weekends, etc. in this. So it's 26 trading days straight. I haven't lost a day. Why? Because I don't chase the money. I'm not in a hurry for it. And that's what this is all about. So what we're looking at now, it hasn't flicked over onto the next increment. So I'm at £2 a point. So now I'm making the target of 30. So I'll just round that off to the nearest pound. So we're looking at 31 quid. So I look at £31 each time now. But as soon as I've hit that target, I quit. Now some days I do more than that. You know, like here. I did 45 quid this morning. I'll show you in a second. And did I win all the positions? No. But I won the day. And that's what this is all about. And that's what I do with this. I just log it. So every day I come in, I know I've got 2 quid. I'm looking for 15 pips because I don't want to stretch myself. Just do 15 pips. Gets me, well, tomorrow it'll get me 31 quid. Anything go over, stop. Now, if I do 30 quid a day, it doesn't take long to start passing these things. Now, I set this up originally to do it in 60 days. There it is there. 60 days. Okay? Which is an average of 16.61 per day if I want to do that. Now, I've achieved the 3 days that you need, because something that you've got to be aware of is when you're doing prop funds, you've now got to do like 0.5% for 3 days. You know, this is why the prop industry is difficult. You've got to follow the rules and you've got to understand them. So if you're just switching the machine on, you've got no idea what you're looking at. So let me just have a quick look through. So this is that particular account. As you can see, the balance is the same. Take it to history. There's the 45.20 that I did this morning. There we go. Run it through. Now, let's just take it back so you can see it all. And I'm doing this just simply because I was pulled on it and I got a bit sick. There's the 10 grand going in. And you just work your way through. Bing, bang, boo. You can't win every position, but you can kill them off. All right? Just goes down. Just keep on going. Bish, bash, bosh. And there you go. So in them 42 days, it's made a profit of 880 quid. Okay? That is there. All right? All right. That's just steady steps. Now, what you got to remember with the prop industry is you can't use the balance. So I can't go in full lots because it's got a 10k balance. That'd be suicide. I'm pushing the money too hard. In other words, I'm trying to get there too fast. Got to step back. Now, with that particular challenge, that's a hyper growth, but it's one of the cheapies that they do, and I can't remember how much I paid for it. I think it was about 38 quid. It works like the high stakes. If you hit your daily drawdown, you lose the account. So the daily drawdown on that is 3%. So I didn't have 10,000 to start with. I had a tiny amount. And I had to size to that tiny amount. And what happened is, at the beginning, as you saw, I was only earning like a quid, 2 or 3 quid at a time. Bish, bash, bosh. Right? But as it got stronger, the position size increased. And now I'm up to £2 a position. Right? But it's taken me 42 days to get there. But over the course of the next couple of weeks, that is now taking it from doing a £5 a day to 30 and 35 quid a day, which will ramp up. So the moral of the story here, and I'm going to ask it again, why are you rushing to make money? You don't need to. If you just do steady steps and naturally compound your position size, you'll get there anyway, but you'll be a lot less stressed. It'll be fully planned. And, well, like I say, on that one, it was finished at 9 o'clock or within the 9 o'clock hour. You know, and it's a beautiful day today. Winky will be back in half an hour or so. Go out for the day. Did it yesterday, a bank holiday. Went down to sort of the castle, the spa, and had a little look round there and one thing and another, and had a marvellous day. That's what you should be looking for as being a trader. But like I say, I'm not a trader. I'm just somebody who runs a job. That's it. And my job just so happens to be on the charts. So I'm not looking for X marks the spot. I'm just looking for what I can get based on what I see. That's it. It's a simple process. So you tell me, drop it in the comments. Are you really in a rush? Because if you are, I think this job might eat you alive. Slow down. Less is more. I learned that lesson a long time ago. Took a huge loss, and the moment that I cut my trades by half, I started making money. And not only did I start making money, and I should have said that I cut my position size by half as well, which I did. I started enjoying it a bit more. Trading is wonderful, but it should never be exciting. The moment it's exciting, it's basically gambling. So I love my job, but if I don't do it, it doesn't bother me. Just like you guys going to your job. You have a day off. Something for you to think about. Drop it in the comments. I answer every single one. If you've got time, drop on my website. You find my contact details there. I point you there because there's a lot of copycats out there, and I never DM anybody. All right. So if you get a direct message saying, how are you doing? I'm doing a new thing. It ain't me, because it's not something that I ever do. I'm not a teacher. I'm just somebody who does the job. But if you're stuck and you're part of the Discord, or you're part of the group, I'll help you. That's the best I can do. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.